So now, may I touch upon you and the family life. How you manage the life of philanthropy and family?
That's a very difficult one, you know. Sometimes my wife say I'm producing too much videos and that sort of stuff. You know, and but you know, I said to her, you know, it's my commitment. During COVID, I made a commitment that I would share my knowledge. You know, because what's the sense in not sharing the knowledge you have and educating others, and at the same time as you're researching, you're learning from what you're doing, because I think it's so important. I made a pledge to learn at least one thing a week or to focus on a topic a week, and I've been doing that. You know, and I think going back to Rossi, when Rossi asked me if I was able to do it, I never say no because I think it's an opportunity to share. And I think when the system produces that opportunity, you don't give it up because it's an opportunity that you'll not have in the future. So
Right.
take it now. And I've been blessed to have this opportunity.
So you say once a week you try to learn something new.
Once a week, and as a matter of fact, if you just focus on something and you go in, I've shared with Rossi sometimes, and I want the listeners to understand that sometimes when you're doing this research,
Hmm.
you're emotionally drained because you realize the injustices that have taken place as it relates to the black diaspora and black people, that you're moved by what you see. Sometimes it's toned down a bit
Right.
to ensure it can go on airplay. And I have content that I will not produce to go on airplay because of the nature of its emotional sensitivity to
Hmm.
us as black
So
individuals.
when you're doing your research, and the deeper you go, and the deeper you go, and the deeper you go, aren't there information that's disappointing to make you even want to say, you know what, I don't even want to learn no more. Let me leave it alone.
Yeah, I think it's information that I wouldn't say that because I think it's an opportunity to go deeper. But sometimes when you go deeper, you have to be very careful that you're not emotionally drained to the point that you develop any animosity towards any individuals in our society,
That
because I think that is so
gotcha.
important. So you have to be objective, and you have to understand that historical facts and events go through our system to influence our present context. And I think many people distance themselves. I've spoken to individuals who have said, listen, I don't want to talk about black history because I'm traumatized. You know, if we don't know the history, how can we move forward? You know, that's so important.
And it's important, yes, but knowing your history, do you have any form, or did you, after learning and researching, do you have any reservation with other ethnic backgrounds, meaning white, Spanish? You know, I mean, just the fact that you dig deep and you discover how, let me use the word cruel, certain system under slavery was. It make you feel how you go out after that and deal with the white folks, the Spanish folks, the
Yeah, I think one of the key things you have to understand is that wherever you look at it, you have to distance yourself because you don't want to be too emotionally involved in the stuff. So you distance yourself, yes. But there are some times when I come across historical facts that I have to take a deep breath and walk away before I come back to look at it. And I have to also be cognizant of the fact that, listen, our structure within the United States and possibly in the Caribbean are heavily linked to colonialization of our Jamaican people and, of course, the institution of slavery back in the United States.
right,
So we have to be cognizant that systems are still being influenced by historical occurrences.
God,
Yeah.
this man, you hear people don't hear the man speak clear. The man just answer the question direct. And he no love the limelight, people. Me I tell you the truth. He no love, You know what I mean? He just like humble and stay in the background and doing thing. All right, so me have a question from Buffy in Jamaica. Because we have a broad audience that
Yes, I
listens.
met Buffy.
You met
Very
Buffy, you
good
met my Buffy.
footballer. Very good footballer.
Yeah, man, indecent man. Big up CC. Hallelujah. Now, as a Jamaican born immigrant in the US, what is most challenging in adjusting to the present change in the culture and society?
I think my interaction with, of course, that individual yesterday,
Yes.
I realized that that question is targeted at looking at how we perceive ourselves.
Mhm.
And I think one of the things we have to make is the perception. We don't want people to perceive us as being aggressive or overly aggressive because we know within the context. In response to that question, I think it's how people perceive us. We don't want to be coming across as the angry black man, or in woman's case, angry black woman. You want to making that adjustment to keep calm. And sometimes we're passionate about our thoughts. We come off incorrectly. So
Right.
therefore, I think
Right.
that balancing how culturally other individuals see us is one of the biggest problems that I have, because even in casual conversations you might realize that we're expressive, but the other individuals might not see us
Gotcha.
in that fashion. They might see it as aggression. For example, I've heard individuals say, "Oh, that white man, he was passionate about his point. However, he was kind of angry in his tone." But for us, they'll deem it as not passion but anger. So we have to be very careful based on how they perceive us.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, remember Jillian,
Yes.
that lady up there in Georgia?
Yeah, I hope it's not a big question that I
No,
can
one
answer.
nice simple question. She some of them questions what she asks, me look forward them to and you have
Yes.
treat it in the form of your research and presentation
Thank
later.
you.
So, Jillian, if I ask you, what concerns you about the black race today? What's concerning?
I think one of the things that I'm looking at and focusing on is how we perceive ourselves, and the image we have. And when I talk about perception, I think that in many cases, we have not emancipated ourselves from certain ideological assumptions that people have of us. We share them. And I'm going to talk about this next week, but I remember hearing most recently where a person, I think it's a social media person, stated that she knew that someone was more prettier than her
Wow.
because the person was much fairer than her and
Mm.
has longer hair than her. Now,
Mm.
to admit that someone is more prettier, in
Mhm.
quotations, than you are, it's telling me that something is wrong with our ideological assumption of ourselves. If someone is going to say that and others. So I think we have to emancipate our thoughts. We have to come together to work together, because collectively we can't do certain things, right?
Gotcha.
So I think as a group too, that's one, or ideology, and it didn't ask for a second one, but I'm going to say we need to come together. And there's always a comparison of maybe different races working together other than the black race. You ever heard that comment all the time? The Chinese will do this, the Indians will do this, the Koreans will do this. But when it comes on to working together, we hardly use the adjective collaborative working within the African community, or
Gotcha.
so to speak.
Virgin, I must tell you, man. You're cool.
I'm glad you hear that.
You're
Yeah.
irie. I may I tell you the truth. Say, just like we said at the beginning, we look forward to hear. Did you know every week, every Tuesday? We thank you. On behalf of the, should I call them fans of yours, the listeners, the people who look forward for the energy where you bring, with the information you bring, we are look forward to it every week. You know what I say? And
Yeah,
if you
man.
take a break, we
Yeah.
we understand you need a break for your research. But that's true, you're going to say every week I try to learn something new. So we know say you
No,
have
we have
something for
to.
it every
We
week.
have to learn something every week. You
Yeah.
understand me? It's like an apple a day. Every week you learn something. It creates greater memories, and it brings about more enlightenment to others.
Well, let me put the microphone in this hand and reach it out here and say, thank you for your time.
Yes, man. Respect.
Thank you for the energy where you bring.
Yes, yes, yes.
And fans, listeners, did you know?
Yes, thanks.
Yes, 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 yes. Wow. That's the only word to describe what just occurred. And did you know? Family Affair alongside Sammy G. Jillian, big up yourself, you don't know. Dr. Ron, Dr. Ron, Dr. Ron. Thank you, thank you. So we have a surprise for you. Yes, yes, yes. We're gonna turn the tables. Tonight we have the OJ The OD. Yes, 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 yes.